Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third session of the 51st Annual Fall Convocation of the University of Manitoba. My name is Mel Braun. I'm an Associate Professor of Voice at the Des Hôtels Faculty of Music, where I teach singing and work with operatic ensembles. And it would be remiss of me not to thank the Julian Bradford Trio for giving us music beforehand. Thanks, guys. As I mentioned, I will be your Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. We know you want to take pictures. We ask that you do it from your seats so as not to block the stage. Also, if you could just remind yourselves to turn off or turn to silent those devices that you have with you. Following the ceremony, there will be a reception. Students will recess to the reception area in the James Daly Fieldhouse, the Max Bell Center, and so we'd encourage you to follow them, and there will be light refreshments there. Terrific strawberries. Next, I would like to welcome our guests that are seated here to my left. These are special guests of the President of our university and guests of recipients of special honors and awards at today's ceremony. Welcome here. And now to the matter at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please rise for the entrance of the academic party and our graduating students. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that the University of Manitoba campuses are located on original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We are pleased to recognize and honor today's Métis graduates by displaying a specially created convocation sash on the center table. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories, we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Now, graduates, if you could please rise for the traditional honor song given by Carl Stone, and then remain standing for the singing of O Canada, led by Nicholas Niebuhr of the Des Hôtels Faculty of Music.
Good afternoon, graduands, family, friends, alumni of this university, colleagues, esteemed guests, and everyone who's gathered here today to celebrate the achievements of the fall class of 2018. I'd like to acknowledge our Chancellor, Mr. Harvey, welcome today's recipient of our highest honor, the honorary doctorate degree, Mr. Craig Hanson, and also welcome to our platform today, the Honorable Gary Philman, an honorary graduate of this university, Mr. Ian Wishart, Legislative Assistant to the Minister of Education and Training, Mr. Jeff Lieberman, Chair of the University's Board of Governors, and Mr. Peter Wheatley, Member of the Alumni Association. Also on the platform today are members of the Senior Administration of the University, deans, directors, student representatives, and faculty members who've played important roles in the achievements that we celebrate here. As President of the University of Manitoba, I formally declare this session of convocation to be open. I just want to speak to you briefly because you'll be hearing from others, including our honorary degree recipient, who will give you wise counsel and words of inspiration. As President of this institution, I want more than anything else to commit to you that the University of Manitoba, your university, will continue to take a leadership role in this world, creating knowledge, driving innovation, transforming communities, changing lives. We'll do so in a way that values inclusion and diversity, ensuring the vast societal benefits generated by a research-intensive university like ours are shared widely and equitably. Even though you graduate today, you'll always be an integral part of the University of Manitoba family. Your dreams, your hopes, your expectations, nurtured as you studied here, inform who we are as an institution and how we evolve to better serve this community and the wider world. We want always to do better. We know you'll help us to achieve that goal. As you become alumni today, be assured that the University of Manitoba is always here for you and for your families and your communities. Our doors, real and virtual, are open to provide further educational opportunities, to facilitate community and industry partnerships, to test your new ideas, to sustain your own personal leadership paths. Our commitment to leadership at the University of Manitoba has been redoubled this year with the introduction of the Institute for Leadership Development, which will bring together resources to enable all students, no matter what their program of study, to hone their leadership skills. Made possible through the generous assistance of Great West Life, IG Wealth Management, and Power Corporation, this unique new leadership initiative exemplifies the spirit of innovation and growth that we all can feel today driving this city and this province forward. I'm particularly excited about the President's Student Leadership Program, where students from the University of Manitoba and other post-secondary institutions across the province will have the opportunity to engage with internationally renowned leaders in business, politics, sport, public service, education, health, law, and the arts. As students, you have shown remarkable leadership. Among you today, for example, are graduate and undergraduate students whose research pushes forward the frontiers of knowledge, enabling innovations that build a better world, whose service learning volunteer experiences have improved lives in communities near and far, and whose creative work has enlivened and enriched our campus and our province. The conversations ahead for this world are difficult ones. How do we respond to severe environmental changes? How do we knit more tightly as communities while traditional gender identities take new shape? How do we reconcile historical imbalances and abuses? I have no doubt that your leadership will guide us through these conversations and others. Ultimately, if we've done our job as educators and mentors, if we've done those jobs well, tomorrow the world will be in better hands. Now, I would just like to say a word or two to members of the audience. This is an interesting experience for all of us because it's a combination of something that has a certain formality to it. We don't always dress like this, and it's a reminder of the tradition that we stand in as we come here. For hundreds, probably thousands of years, students have graduated, have worn robes something like this. We like to remind ourselves of that tradition. But at the same time, we want this to be an interesting and enjoyable experience for family and friends. Let's not let the formality get in the way of family and friendship. Now, usually I tell people that there are a number of different ways that you can communicate your enthusiasm, but given what happened as we were coming into the room, I'm not sure that I need to point that out to this group because you seem to be enthusiastic already. So what I will say is there are a number of graduates, and each of them will be on the platform, will be named, and will be the focus of our attention for a relatively brief period. During that period, if you want to express yourself by clapping, you should do that. If you want to express yourself a little more energetically, you should do that. But you should remember that just as the person you want to celebrate has a brief moment, the person coming after them has a brief moment as well. So don't let your enthusiasm steal someone else from their time. Enjoy it. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Gary Philman, and I am honored to be reading this citation today. The highest honor the Senate of a university can confer upon an individual is an honorary doctorate. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria includes distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. Our honorary graduate this afternoon is Mr. Craig Hanson. Grit, determination, the drive to make a difference. These are the strengths that define Craig Hanson. They've made him one of Winnipeg's most respected business leaders and community builders. By 41, he was president and CEO of Wawanesa Mutual, the youngest in its 100-year history. With a vision that inspired everyone around him, Mr. Hanson grew the company into the largest mutual insurance firm in Canada. The roots of his resolve run deep. After losing his father when he was just a toddler, he was never made to feel disadvantaged. His mother, a woman as compassionate as she was strong and independent, raised her son to be equally so. By age 9, he did the grocery shopping, comparing prices and looking for the best deals. That's a true Winnipegger. One day he asked his mom why she got to make the rules. She replied it was because she had a grade 12 education, and if he wanted to be in charge one day, he would have to get his diploma too. It was the beginning of a lifelong quest to learn. He was determined. He worked part-time to help pay his way through private school, and then earned a business degree from this university. Years later, when building his team at Wawanesa, he believed that a positive attitude and a thirst for knowledge were the most important attributes when considering new hires. Proving the power of this philosophy, under his leadership, the company flourished. It was important to him that he did this in Winnipeg, a city he loves deeply because of its giving spirit. This even shows in his email sign-off with his title listed as Proud Manitoban and Canadian. Committed to fostering positive change, he has volunteered his sage counsel to many organizations over the years, organizations that enrich our community, from the United Way to the Winnipeg Foundation. As chair of finance for the 1999 Pan American Games, he exceeded expectations, finishing the project with an $8 million surplus. To this day, sports programs benefit from his legacy. Inspired by fellow alumnus Justice Murray Sinclair, Mr. Hanson now focuses on programs that empower Indigenous peoples. Through the Winnipeg Boldness Project, he is working alongside the North End community to improve outcomes for young children in the Point Douglas area. He is also an advocate and supporter for grassroots initiatives such as Winnipeg's Bear Clan Patrol. Here at the University of Manitoba, as a member of the President's Front and Center team, Mr. Hanson seeks to champion the next generation through Manitoba's largest philanthropic campaign. Mr. Hanson leads by example and shows us what happens when you step forward and act, when you don't settle for status quo, when you see the possibilities that can be. Mr. Chancellor, it is an honor for me to ask on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba that you confer on Mr. Craig Hanson a Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Hanson.
Well, you have a special day in front of you, don't you? You must be a special group of people. You've got the best day of October 2018 right here, shining brightly. I acknowledge all the dignitaries who are here today, the families, friends, and neighbors of the graduates, but most of all, I recognize and applaud you, the graduates. You're the trailblazers of the University of Manitoba for 2018. I would also like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 territory, and as such, we have rights and responsibilities under all those treaties. Let me sincerely thank my dear friend, Gary Filman, for that kind citation. He took a lot out of my speech now, so in conclusion, I think I'll say a few words more. I don't think my mother would ever believe that I was getting a doctorate since I couldn't even stand the sight of blood in most cases. I must admit, though, that I like the idea of adding doctor to my salutation. It seems a little cool. I stand before you thinking about what can I possibly pass along to you that would be meaningful for your future. You could probably teach me more than I could ever teach you, especially in this fast-paced world of technological change. After all, you have just completed several years of intensive studying, while some people might call me a senior citizen just in God's waiting room cramming for my finals. When I look back on my life, I think of it as broken into three distinct sections. There were the years of learning, there were the years of earning, and there were the years of returning. Now, these are not mutually exclusive segments of my life, but they encompass the emphasis of my life in each of the periods. Let me first talk about the years of learning. Here is where the emphasis was on education and quenching an insatiable thirst for knowledge in many different areas. As Gary mentioned, my dad died when I was very young, so my mother raised both my sister and I. She was an amazing woman, and I will be forever grateful to her for the values she gave me and the things that she taught me. And she did challenge me when, as Gary mentioned, that she would always be the boss until I had more education than she did. Now, don't get me wrong. My mother gave me a significant amount of independence. But with that, she expected me to take a lot of responsibility. I had to have those part-time jobs that Gary referred to help to contribute to family resources, and that taught me about financial management, budgeting, and frugality. She always used to say to me, if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep could be your downfall. My period of learning extended for a long period of time, beginning with the University of Manitoba, where I obtained a Bachelor of Commerce degree from what is now called the Asper School of Business. It was an exciting and very enjoyable time interspersed with studying. I'm just glad there weren't smartphones, YouTube, Facebook, or any of those social media coverages around when I was there at that time, because perhaps I wouldn't be standing before you here today, and I'll leave you with your imaginations on why that might be. After my first degree, I embarked upon obtaining a chartered accountancy. I figured that every business and many families or individuals needed an accountant, so my probability of employability would be pretty good, and that turned out to be a pretty good decision. I knew that I wanted to be in the financial services business because it intrigued me. Then I went to work for a Manitoba company, the Wawanesa Mutual, and that is where the learning years were overlapped with the earning years. I obtained 2 degrees recognized in the insurance industry, and I didn't complete my formal education of those courses until I was 40 years old. I was now into the period of my life when earning was the emphasis. When I talk about earning, I don't just mean earning in the financial sense. Sure, you want to earn enough to be able to support yourself and your family, but also support causes that are important to you. And working with others, you want to earn their trust and their support, and building your own brand and reputation. I spent 28 years with the Wawanesa, the last 15 of which were president and CEO. They were very rewarding, and I have very few regrets. I was presented with a lot of opportunities along the way, and I always say it's not the opportunities that you are presented with, but what you do with them that matters. I had a lot of good fortune during my earning years, but the best decision I ever made was marrying my wife, Mary, and trying to earn and deserve her love over the past 40 years. I could never have accomplished what I have without her love and support. She is by far the biggest advantage that I've had in my life. When I retired from full-time employment in 2007, I had to plan for the third section of my life, which was the years of returning. I've been involved all my life as a volunteer in many different charitable organizations. No one should be waiting until the final stages of their life to give back to their community. I believe that every community should be judged on how they treat their most vulnerable people. We all have a responsibility to reach out and help our neighbors whenever we can. I use the word neighbor in the broadest possible sense. Helping one another is how we create a better world. Being on the board of the Winnipeg Foundation for 10 years and being involved with the United Way for 2 or 3 decades, I observed the needs of our community. One of the greatest needs we have in our province and in our country is to reconcile the relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. Unfortunately, our Indigenous neighbors are overrepresented in our penal system, our judicial system, our healthcare system, and social services. They are more likely to live in poverty. Indigenous people have been mistreated and marginalized for too long. This creates a tremendous amount of toxic stress in their lives, and when one segment of our neighbors is hurting, the whole community feels the pain. I wanted to determine how I could become part of the solution instead of part of the problem. I sought advice from our former Prime Minister, Paul Martin, who has devoted much of his time, energy, and financial resources to the issue of reconciliation. I also met, as Gary mentioned, with Senator Murray Sinclair on a number of occasions to seek his guidance. Inspired by this wisdom, in the past 7 years, I've been devoting the majority of my personal time, energy, and resources to reconciling with Indigenous people. I've formed many wonderful relationships and friendships. I've listened and I've learned from every relationship I have built, and I've gained from others much more than they have ever given me, or rather, I could ever give them, rather. I experienced poverty growing up in a single-parent family, but I had many advantages that allowed me to overcome those barriers. Many of the people I see and meet in the Indigenous community never have those same opportunities and the good fortune that I did. I believe that every child is a sacred gift to our community, and that we all have a responsibility to ensure that each of those children has a reliable source of love in their lives and opportunity to reach their full potential to being a contributing member of our society. Today, we're celebrating your achievements. Although you are moving through the latter stages of your intensive learning segment of life, please commit to lifelong learning. As you enter the earning stage, I wish you the best in finding a career that will be rewarding and motivating, and remember to continue building your personal brand and reputation so people appreciate what you stand for. And finally, don't wait until the final segment of your life to get involved in your community. We all have a responsibility to build a better world.
Academic achievement is a huge part of what has been with our graduating class. And for a complete list of the recipients and medals and prizes, we'd ask you to turn in your program to page 120, where you can read the list at your leisure. It's now time for Chancellor Harvey Sector to address Convocation.
Thank you, Mr. Braun. One of the special privileges, according to the Chancellor, is the opportunity to participate in convocations. I'm honored to be here today to join you, the graduands, your family, and your friends in celebrating the completion of your current academic programs. Sincere congratulations to all the students who are receiving prizes and awards for their individual accomplishments. And a special heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Hanson on receiving a well-deserved honorary degree from his alma mater. The President spoke about our commitment to the future, but it's also important to remember that the University of Manitoba has a rich history dating back to 1877. For over 140 years, students, faculty, alumni, and others connected with this institution have been making significant contributions to the cultural, social, and economic well-being of the people of Manitoba, Canada, and increasingly throughout the world. Looking at the world today makes one appreciate the good fortune that we have to be living in Canada, a free and democratic country. But as David Matthews pointed out, democracies need something more than written constitutions, free elections, and representative governments. They also depend on a strong public life, a rich depository of social capital, a sense of community, and a healthy civil society, as our honoree was talking about. Over the years, I've become convinced that it's the contributions that individuals make voluntarily that best ensures the development of a civil society and is our best hope for protecting a democratic way of life. Craig Hanson is a prime example of the kind of difference each of us can make if we commit to building a better community. Today's realities for many of our citizens and cherished institutions would still be just dreams if it were not for people like Greg, who, as we heard, refuses to accept the status quo as a necessary given reality. His achievements remind me of Margaret Mead's famous quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Mead talked about the synergies and the synergistic impact that come from groups of people working together. Recently, a friend of mine sent me a notice about a book on the ideal team player. The author identified 3 key characteristics as being hunger, humility, and smarts. It sounded to me like he either knew Craig Hanson or must have been dreaming of him. Greg is hungry, always looking for more to do, new ways that he can help by using his talent and energy to better the lives of others. He's a man who always seems to be promoting others over himself. The true meaning of humility is not thinking less of yourself, but as was pointed out, it's thinking of yourself less often. That's Craig Hanson. In addition to being smart and well-educated, he has an innate sense for the context as well as the content of problems that are facing us, and he always places people and principles first and foremost. While most of us will never have the ability or capacity to change the world, Craig Hanson reminds us that working together, if we can follow the advice of Robert Kennedy, who said each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total of those acts will be written the history of this generation. We often say that one of the things you take with us on graduation is the reputation of your alma mater. You and I are the beneficiaries of reputation created by those who came before us. We're confident that many of you will rise to the challenge and do what you can to see that reputation enhanced even further by the contributions you make in your chosen fields and in the communities you choose to live, wherever they may be. Though some of the challenges of the past have been successfully addressed, as we heard from Mr. Hanson's presentation, many still remain. Those challenges are your opportunities to make a better society. So as you begin the next chapter in your lives, we all encourage you to keep in mind the advice of Nelson Mandela, who said, "There is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that's less than the ones that you're capable of living." We all hope that as you reflect back on your time here at the University of Manitoba, you'll feel that while you were here, you moved just a little further along the path to becoming all that you were meant to be. We wish you congratulations and best wishes for professional careers and personal lives that are filled with much success and great satisfaction. Good luck to you all.
Mr. Chancellor, I now have the honor to request on behalf of the University Senate that you confer upon the candidates the degrees and diplomas earned by them, as these shall later be announced. Will those who are to receive degrees and diplomas please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degrees and diplomas to which you're severally entitled, with all of the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. I also admit in absentia those who've completed the requirements for these degrees and diplomas, but who are today not able to be present.
All of you will be aware that change is in the air. Yesterday, a whole bunch of new businesses opened in Manitoba. And change is something that we are not strangers to at the U of M. We're trying something new. Now that you have officially been blessed as graduates of the University of Manitoba, we ask that you move your tassel from the right to the left to commemorate this change. Congratulations. If those of you who are in the front row could please remain standing and everyone else sit, we will proceed. Mr. Chancellor, I now present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, with Dean Todd Mondor presenting the parchments and Provost and Vice President Academic Janice Ristock hooding the graduates. Erica Suzanne Boxdale. Ramona Corinne Elizabeth Neckaway. Appalaraju Jagupilli. Anjali Bhagirat Yadav. Andrew Thomas Robson. Ashley Justine Samantha Stewart Tofescu. Laura Louise Thompson. Desalye Yizingo Malesse. Elizabeth Wall Wheeler. Jessica Stavsky Jarmaz. Mohammed Fazl Alam Rabi. Jonathan Odette. Elnaz Shadabi. Arsalan Alizadeh. Sama Al-Rushaid. Tara Johnston. Now, Mr. Chancellor, we move on to the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Environment, with Dean Norman Halden of the Clayton H. Riddell Faculty of Environment, Earth and Resources, hooding the graduate. Trevor Anthony Joseph Seelan. And now, on to the candidates whom we've admitted to the degree of Master of Natural Resources Management. Pepper McKenna Armstrong Pretty. Rosemary Ann Dohan. Farjana Ferdous. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with majors in Environment, Earth and Resources. Joris Delgado Almonte. Adam Katsuji Vanderpont. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Dentistry with Associate Dean Raj Buller of the College of Dentistry, Hudding, the graduate. Chrissy Stavropoulou. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with a major in dentistry, Muna Bebsh. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Public Health with Vice Dean Christina Tea, representing the Radi Faculty of Health Sciences, and Hudding, the graduate. Alistair Douglas Gregg. And now the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with major in medicine. Saeed Abdo Al-Azazi. Xuan Chen. Asanta Charundi Gunaratna. Nicole Catherine Haley Herpai. Carly Leah Lodowicks. Darian Sheldon Morton. Kelsey Marie Whitgus. Marina Mostafizar. Yiran Wang. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Nursing with Dean Nita Dick of the College of Nursing, Hudding, the graduates. Adebusola Abiodun Adekoya. Lisa Kimberly Banman. Holly Jolene Beckering. Crystal Ann Cook, also known as Strong Heart White Bear Woman. Taya Shea Duncan. Marlena Rose Dupuis. Kautar El Mazouz Alawi. Joanne Lutz. Tasya Patmore. Camille Dawn Mube. Sabrina Mlinar. Tara Lane Roberts. Christopher Darrell Marcel Rondeau. Adrian Barnett Sawatsky. Nadine Simone Schultz. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with a major in Pharmacy, with Dean Lalitha Raman Wilms of the College of Pharmacy, Hooding, the graduate. Giuliano Amador de Silva. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with a major in Rehabilitation Sciences, with Dean Reg Urbanovsky of the College of Rehabilitation Sciences, Hooding, the graduate. Margaret Ann Campbell-Rempel. Now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Arts, Kinesiology and Recreation Management major, with Dean Douglas Brown of the Faculty of Kinesiology and Recreation Management, Hooding, the graduates. Laura Cesarelli. Simrit Kaur Deol. Edwin Jo. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science, Kinesiology and Rec Management major. Kevin Francis Boreski. And now, Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Social Work, with Acting Dean Diane Hebert Murphy of the Faculty of Social Work, Hooding, the graduates. Katarzyna Buchmann. Sonia Kate Iserloh. Fiona Margaret Jackson. Nicole Annette Nolt. Jill Marie Siemens. Alan John Taylor. Christopher Paul Zalovich. Karen Jean Bruce. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography, with Dean Norman Halden presenting the parchments. Mei-Ying Liu. Amanda Lynn Marie Morrison. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Science Major. Madeline Claire Dessler. Joanna Kwatamdia. Zijun Jo. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Science. Adesheye Adeyemi. Ferash Alame Dine. Yanbo Tong. Mengyun Yao. Bei Ye. Dunlin Zhao. Now, Mr. Candidate, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Studies Honours. Leanna Fair. Sonia Catherine Nussler. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Studies Major. Chidera Osere Osao Bisong. James Dean Everhart. Dalitso Kamungo. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Studies. Chidobem Okechukwu O Bachelor of Geological Sciences Honours, Brandon Wilson Clayton. Claude Onyelo Esekori. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Geological Sciences Major. Oluwatosin Timilein Kolare. And now the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Geological Sciences. Isaac Onyacholam. And now, Mr. Chancellor, we will move on to the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Health Sciences, with Vice Dean Dr. Christina Tea of the Rady Faculty of Health Science presenting the parchment. Deborah Oluwatoyin Kuyebi. And now, on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Human Ecology. Guiane Marie Bailon. Debbie Gonzalez Catap. Stephanie Jolene Dirksen. Nicolette Gittins. Isan Jamal. Catherine Elizabeth Kelly. Ariel Megan Clausen. Denise Rubin. Jamie Whalen. Megan Naomi Hope Weeb. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Health Sciences, Nursing, with Dean Nita Dick of the College of Nursing presenting the parchments. Shadi Hagai. Caitlin Renee Arbez. Justine Jeanette Marie Armstrong. Alexandra Laverne Baker. Emma Catherine Barber Dewick. Alyssa Mary Bauer. Megan Deanna Breeden. Marissa Wendy Bunn. Emily Jane Rose Burlock. Sarah Jacqueline Cavett Goodwin. Callie Mae Chalmers. Christina Laikwen Chan. Al Einstein Arapan Coligado. Ashlyn Isabella Marie Courtvrient. Samantha Megan Krang. Shagayeg Daneshvar. Bennett Edward Dawson. Christian Diang. Pamela May Viado de la Cruz. Megan Elizabeth Diekelt. Shaylee Alexandra Ducharme. Emma Vaughn Dewick. Huang Na Uen Duong. Stacy Ann Dick. Sandra Yu Egwohonwu. Amanda Lynn Eisner. David Carl Erickson. Minchu Cray Senal Fuentes. Giselle Ann Galano. Katrina Erin Gemmel. Elise Danielle Gillen. Sarah Ann Gillen. Kristen Camelia Gladys Godwin. Winter Golom. Jenna Danielle Goulet. Katrina Anne-Marie Guinette. Jessica Christine Gundrum. Justine Lillian Hafachuk. Talia Louise Malabrigo Jiménez. Kristen Mary Herman. Stephanie Marie Hilmerich. Kelsey Alexandra Regina Hitch. Natalie Ho Yin Hui. Oluwanifemi Simisola Ibrahim. Biyobele Moi Ebihiremi Irabor. Heather Catherine Jansen. Carly Yvonne Jorgensen. Taryn Ashley Rie Kaita. Pritpal Singh Kambo. Navjot Kaur Kang. Tetiana Kapelus. Jihai Kim. Alyssa Blaine Kynes. Vanessa Klimachko. Su Kyung Go. Melissa Brianne Konowalchuk. Robin Monique Lagimodière. Yasha Lim. Richard Michael Liu. Gerald Maglalang. Rachel Mangiacotti. Amanda Lynn Merrick. Barry Edgar McKee. Julia Moldovanenko. Lene Georgia Marie Moorhouse. Hassan Murtaza. Miranda Joanne Nault. Sheena Marie Dale Nieto. Jenna Marie North. Rose Hareen Awar Agonji. Alyssa Danielle Penner. Kristen Dawn Hott. Sandra Rageb. Imran Rashid. Francesca Marinel Olabre Reyes. Megan Leah Robidoux. Beth Robinson. Miriam Roman. Amy Lauren Savage. Nadia Aminata Scarlett. Andre Sklar. Wendell Shoemaker. Steffi Corazon Siapno. Lauren Atlee Simar. Ainsley Ann Margaret Spence. Jillian Rose Stewart. Candace Sidor. Nancy Thiessen. Ada Timog. Martha Iwin Uchala. Tyson Scott Unger. Harvey Joy Ventura. Zorine Nicola Waite. Rebecca Michelle Wozni. Nairi Chantal Weeb. Sarah Weeb. Catherine Elizabeth Wilson. Amber Wolfe. Chelsea Nicole Wolfe. Mary Young. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Kinesiology, with Dean Douglas Brown of the Faculty of Kinesiology and Rec Management presenting the parchment. Sarah Beth McLennan. And now the candidate whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Physical Education. Christine Myrie Adamopoulos French. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Recreation Management and Community Development. Jessie Katarina Elizabeth Chubati. Brianne Reed. Edward Wisbinski. Shuo Yuan. Ziyi Yuan. Wei Chang. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Acting Dean Diane Hebert Murphy of the Faculty of Social Work presenting the parchments. Madison Kennedy Bauer. Michelle Carey Bowles. Kevin Bruce. Christine Joanne Burke. Jennifer Ashley Chartrand. Jillian Ann Dewick. Stanley James Garriock. Kendra Leanne Rosalind Geisler. Laura Jennifer Golis. Trishana Danielle Goss. Kelly Francis Grunston. Mavis Giawu Mensa. Vanessa Dawn Johnson. Shane Rudy Joseph. Jenna Lee Kennedy. Siji Khan. Ashley Amundsen McDonald. Janice Lorraine Maxwell. Carly Taylor Ross McDonald. Julia Marie Murphy. Catherine Noble. Jessica Ray Plouffe. Raylan Rempel. Kyla Tegan Michelle Shoemaker. Camille Dominique Sylvester. Jessica Heyman Watt. Shelley April Woods. Haley Michelle Worsfold.
Good afternoon, Minister, Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, Dr. Hanson, guests, and graduates. Congratulations. Today is a big day and one that you'll always remember. As you set out on a new journey, I hope each one of you finds inspiration from the University of Manitoba alumni who have come before. Today, we had the privilege of hearing from honorary degree recipient and alumnus, Dr. Craig Hanson. Deep-rooted values and commitment to quality helped pave his path to success. While no two personal or professional journeys are ever the same, we all share a common thread: this institution and our shared experiences here. Through dedicated study, lively discussion, and at times, sleepless nights, ideas were generated here, discoveries were born, and dreams took flight. Now that you've walked across this stage, after years of hard work and commitment, you join an alumni community that's both diverse and more than 140,000 strong in 137 countries around the world. It is our privilege to celebrate your achievement today and to encourage you in every way possible in the years to come. We greatly value our alumni community. We are grateful to the lifelong connection we share, and we invite you to stay connected and come back often. The accomplishments of our alumni bring great distinction and pride to the University of Manitoba. From here, well, you can go anywhere. You are the leaders who will help shape the future of our province and beyond. We look forward to seeing just how far you will go. Welcome to the University of Manitoba alumni family. Thank you.
This brings our afternoon to a close. I would like to ask members of the audience, please, to remain in your places until the academic procession has left the room, and then please join us, follow us and join us for some refreshments at the other end of the building. Convocation is ended.